Okay, good morning, everybody. Good morning to all those joining us on the live stream for the inaugural event of Thinking Out Loud. Thinking Aloud. The concept that one of our students, Kunjdola, in 12th standard, good morning, everybody. Intends to develop into a nationwide the live stream event, something inaugural event TED, but specifically for students. Thinking Aloud. Okay, good morning, everybody. We're trying to do, one second. Thinking aloud is what we're trying to encourage. We want people to think and think carefully about their own lives, things that they can do and what contribution they have in life. And the thinking aloud part is we want to hear what you can think. Yes, what your opinions are. And I know the judges today are very much looking forward to this because the topic you're talking about today, you are the people that we need to find out from. How do you find online learning? Okay, so I want to welcome our two judges today. Brijeshwariba Gohil, thank you very much for joining us, and Professor Dilip Barad, thank you also. I'll now ask each of the participants to introduce themselves in turn, starting with the team for the motion, starting with Dhairya Bhatt.
Hello everyone, my name is Dhairya Bhatt, and some of my interests are like playing sports like football, and I'm a keen web developer. Thank you.
Okay, next, Shivdeep.
Hello, I am Shivdeep Rana. I like to speak and I like painting.
Very good.
Hello everyone, I am Jayendra Sankhwar and some of my interests are surfing on internet and reading new books. Thank you.
Uday.
Hello, I am Udayrajsinh Vala and some of my interests are playing football and doing art.
Very, very good. And for the opposition then, starting with Yashvi, tell us about yourselves.
So, hello everyone, I'm Yashvi Bagthaliya and I have interest in dance, music, photography, art, etc.
Good. Next, Insiya.
Hello everyone, I am Insiya Pramani from class 9A and I am an outgoing person. I like traveling and I kind of also like reading books.
Okay, thank you. And
Good morning everyone. My name is Dhatri Purohit. I like reading books, writing books and etc.
Very good. And finally, Janviba.
Hello everyone, my name is Janviba Jadeja from class 9th A. My interests are music, art, reading and writing. Thank you.
Excellent, very, very good. So we're going to start now. The format as I published for you, we'll have one speaker for the motion, one against the motion. And after both of you do 2 minutes, then I will give each of you a question that from the live stream that I'm seeing here on YouTube. Is that fine? Can I speak directly to the audience? Thank you all for joining. I see all your wonderful comments. Everybody online is wishing you good luck. So they all wanted to be very, very successful. When you put a question, make sure that the question is related to what that student has actually said. Don't ask outside of the topic because that might be covered by a student talking later like that, yes? So I will pick one question after the first part to give to each student like that from your comments. Okay, so apart from that, good luck. Dhairya Bhatt, you can start.
Okay. Hello everyone. Today I and my teammates are going to present this so sorry for this. Let me start again. Yeah. So good morning everyone. Today I and my teammates are going to present this evidence to you, outlining how the 1950s classroom type of education is definitely dead. Long live online learning. Time is the currency of our existence, and as with any currency, we should spend it wisely. Let me explain to you. A student spends 7 hours per day in a school classroom, and more than that, he has to do 2 hours of compulsory tuition classes. 9 are stolen, but the thing doesn't stop here. He still has to add some more hours of compulsory homework given by the teacher, and that brings me up to very close to half of my 24 hours a day. With more than a year of online learning, I have reached to this realization That physical classroom steals all my valuable time that I can get never back. And this is a true crime. At the moment, 4 hours of online lectures in the morning gives me ample time to complete all my syllabus and to do my homework, which I'm doing while the teacher is talking in the classroom, which I can't do in the offline classes. So now I have time for everything what I want to do, and more importantly, time to develop for my adult futuristic world. I have time to think. I have time for everyone, like my friends, my families, and to do as much exercise as I want. Online learning is freedom, and we students are waiting for the world to catch up with this. The future is now. Thank you.
Very well done. Thank you very much, Dhairya. Very brave going first. It's not so easy. It's very, very difficult being in front of a live camera. Well done. So, the Kunj, Dhairya, you can. Kunj, can you share that link again with Dilip Barad, if that's possible? Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dhairya. Now we move on to the first speaker for the opposition, which is Yashvi. Hi, Yashvi.
Yes, sir. So, online classes have helped the students to continue with their studies, but the students can't study without their buddies. Earlier, it was much better when we studied in the school, and going to school was very, very cool. So, after hearing to Dhairya's views, now is the time to relieve the opposite side of the coin. Yes, there are some major drawbacks of online teaching, which often get pushed aside in a discussion. After all, who would like to put brakes on education innovation? Well, today I would like to do so. The online classes would never be able to create a classroom environment, and practical learning, apart from computer science, is not possible on online teaching. Also, the students might not get comfortable with the teacher and feel shy in asking the doubts. On the other hand, teachers are also unable to check whether the students are actually studying or not. Studying alone, only with the screen as your companion, sounds terrifying to some students. There is no whispering in the back of the room, no wise remarks from the peanut gallery, no commanding presence in the front of the room pleading everyone to listen, is recalled by all of us. Isn't it? This all cannot be experienced in online classes at all. In addition to it, if you don't manage your time properly, you would find yourself buried beneath a seeming insurmountable mountain of self-work. Online classes gives you more freedom, perhaps more than that you can handle and require. This freedom can be dangerous if you don't learn how to handle it. Furthermore, only you are responsible for your learning. The spark and desire to achieve your dreams must be yours. Also, you might get behind and never catch up.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Yashvi. Right, I've got a couple of questions. One question for Dhairya. You ready, Dhairya?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What have you personally then? You're saying that the question of time and all of that, you were able to use your time better yourself because of the online world. Give me some examples of what you've actually done yourself then.
I would like to give some examples like which from which the time that I saved from the offline classes. Like I have developed a website for my own personal portfolio, which not just me, all my classmates have also done. And more personally about me, I have written a book on maths.
Yeah, very, very good. Okay, and Yashvi, very, very well spoken and makes a very good point there. But the idea is that just asking about, there are some advantages to online learning, is there? Would you agree there are some advantages to online learning?
Yes, sir. Everything has disadvantages and advantages.
Absolutely, and that's a very good, fair point. So look, incredibly brave of both of you and very well spoken. Well done, thank you very much. So we'll move on to the second speaker for the motion, which is Shivdeep Rana. Morning, Shivdeep.
Good morning, sir. It is a fact that all my teammates and myself are joining this debate from our laptops. Those laptops which are bought for us by our parents when they realized that our real learning is now online. On these devices, we not only attend our regular classes but also do much more. And all of this is only possible because we are free of the shackles of online classroom learning. The opposition will have to agree with me when I outline the extraordinary learning in which the students of our class have engaged in over the last year. One of our classmates have written a book, others have developed and coded new games. We all have made videos and learned about video editing. And all of us now have our own portfolio website. And all of this while easily carrying on with our regular syllabus. This all would not have been possible if we were stuck for hours in the classroom learning. But wait, there is more. Some of us have completed certified courses of maths and computer designing, and others are learning new languages. There is one more advantage of online classes. No one is sitting at the back of the classroom. Online classes are a real equalizer. Anyone, irrespective of where they live, could get a first class education and could spread their learning potential in diverse areas. The only thing which is required is the will to do it. The title of our debate, Online Learning is not all bad. Online learning, in fact, is excellent. But getting back to those physical classrooms would be a step backwards. Thank you.
Brilliant. Very, very good. Well done, Shivdeep. Thank you very much. And second speak for the against the motion, Insiya.
A research says that our eyes are the most fragile organ in our body. According to experts, staring at screens for too long can damage our eyes, can strain our eyes, or make the symptoms of the existing eye condition worse. And online classes just simply means we have to stare in front of a screen for too long. And looking at screens for a long period of time can also lead to severe headaches, difficulty in focusing, eye discomfort, blurred vision, and dry and itchy eyes. Digital eye strain often leads to dry eyes, and it puts an extra burden on the muscle of the eye that helps the eye focus. In addition to this, we do not blink as frequently when looking at digital devices, which causes faster disruption and evaporation of the film of tears that protects the surface of the eye. So loss of eyesight also is a possible cause because of online classes. Apart from this, if we look into overall health criteria, online classes also affect our mental health badly. Online classes may create a sense of isolation in a person, and that may lead to rise in anxiety and hyperactivity among students. Alongside the lack of social interaction, online class structure affects teens and adolescents in a number of ways. They may feel heightened anxiety about keeping up to date with their schoolwork, and some of us may find it difficult to concentrate and staying focused at home. On the whole, I can say is that one cannot back off from the word that online classes affect our physical health along with mental health. And at last, I would say that I pray that we overcome this situation and go to school again to give us a relief from the headache in our brain. Thank you.
Very good, Insiya. Well done, well spoken. Thank you very much. Shivdeep, I'm going to go back to you with a question. From what you said, very, very strongly, you spoke it very well. But what about people then that got poor internet and all of that?
Well, we have to talk here about the online classes. But anyway, many of the people are going for tuitions. So nowadays they are not going. So instead of that, the parents could buy them Wi-Fi's, and a Wi-Fi only costs 6,000 per year. And from that Wi-Fi, you could search your doubts in YouTube and Google, and there are many websites, free websites where you could do some courses. Thank you.
Okay, very good. And see, yeah, very well spoken. And obviously, concern about people's eyesight and all that is a very, very big issue. If this is to carry on for the rest of the year, then is there any way students can improve that situation for themselves while being at home? Because would you agree the adult world is also changing like that, that a lot of work is going to be just online rather than going to the office? So maybe this is proper preparation for students. What do you think?
Yeah, the atmosphere we get in offline classes, that atmosphere cannot be at all found in online classes. And children attending offline classes are bound to have some classroom professionalism, and that cannot be found in online classes. So the harm we get from online classes would remain constant. We can improve it by doing some yoga, meditation, and practicing some eye exercises that would help us that will help us um, that would help us low that harm. The harm will be there if we are doing online classes. The our health will be harmed, but we can do something to less that harm.
Very, very good, Insiya. Well answered. Very, very good. Right. Carrying on then. Next, we've got Chayandra.
Yeah. In a classroom, a student is expected to work the same as everybody else, therefore not giving the opportunity to test their full potential. For instance, from my past experience, I can say that one chapter would have taken a whole week in a traditional classroom, but I could have simply completed it in an hour or more while learning online. But those aren't the only problems with a physical classroom. There is a lot of disturbance in a class, like chattering of other people. It can be very unhelpful for a sincere student. I guess one of the most annoying things for anyone is when you miss an explanation of any chapter because you were absent. But it's not the case with online classes, as they are usually recorded and can be seen multiple times. Not only for students, but also for teachers, online classes are turned out to be very helpful. Science and social teachers can now explain chapters more elaborately, as now they have better access to the informational content in the internet. As Dhairya said, time is precious and should be used accordingly. The small time which is wasted during the school hours can sum up to a big number. The time wasted during things like lining up for and the assembly itself, music and dance classes for someone who doesn't like those, can add to a total average time of around 2 to 2.5 hours, and that is a lot of time. Owing to the online classes, the time of a proxy class can be saved and utilized in more useful things like learning something new or completing homework, etc. Things don't end here. There are numerous reasons which make online learning preferably better. The opposition has to believe it because they feel it too. I would like to finish here. Thank you.
Right. Jayendra, sorry, my net went off there shortly. You've just finished there. Thank you very, very much. I think the school net went down. Okay, and the next speaker then for the opposition, Dhatri.
Yes, sir. The global COVID pandemic has drastically changed the lives of every person and the setup of every occupation. Education is one of the things that is the most tremendously affected. Albert Einstein gave the finest definition of education as education is what remains in you after you have forgotten all that you have learned in the classroom. Online classes give a greater value to downloadable content. Aesthetic values, sentiments, subjective responses, and experimenting for oneself are all sidelined. The personal interactions, collaborative engagements, and sharing ideas and opinions lead to the education of a child. Otherwise, what is the purpose of going to the school? It's not merely for the accumulation of knowledge and information, but also for preparing a young person to live and face the society. A school is where a person interacts with and befriends other students from different social and religious backgrounds. But online classes, on the other hand, pushes them to individuality. It gives no scope for any sentiments or memories to cherish. It kills the creative and emotional instincts of the young learner. Another fallout of online education is that it gives no platform for critical thinking and analyzing. As the students are not meeting physically, there is no way for them to discuss and analyze a particular subject with their classmates and be an active participant in creative thinking. These cannot be done in online classes. Hence, I conclude that offline classes are better than online classes. Thank you.
That's really excellent. Very, very well spoken. So, Jayendra, you made very, very strong case there for the learning online, that it gives you much more time for yourself. Do you think that after the pandemic, there's lessons schools can learn from the experience?
Yes, like after the pandemic, it is very crucial to continue with online. Means it is suitable for conditions like this, like where there is virus. So
Yeah, but can maybe schools learn that maybe there's a midway point, something can be different?
yes, as I said, means many points can be, means schools can take them to improve those, like learning new things. For example, we also took initiative to learn coding and things like that. So the same could be done in schools while they are offline.
Yeah, very, very good. Dhatri, I agree with you fully that what you were saying is very, very clear, that the interaction with your friends and all of that. But surely if you want, in online environment, there's lots of opportunity to interact with your friends and share ideas.
Yes, sir. We are not saying that it is totally the worst idea, the online classes. It does have some advantages, but we are proving out that offline classes are better. The students can also meet in like Google Meet or any other platform, but it won't have the same classroom environment as the physical classroom has. Because in physical classroom, they can get together and discuss a topic. And in an online class, just imagine if someone's net goes off and they missed one whole discussion, then it would be a disaster for them. They won't be able to catch up of what others are saying and all.
Very good. Thank you very much, Dhatri. Right. Now, the final speaker for the motion, Uday.
Yeah. I would like to start with the point that online learning helps students to improve their communication skills, as they can't sit idle as many would in a physical classroom. And not only that, there are several students who cannot express themselves in front of full class, have had a golden opportunity to come up and break out of their fears and speak up in front of class. Online mode of learning helps us to increase the interaction with our friends and classmates, spend time playing games, exercise, and much more. Every student can spend time playing games, chatting, and can even solve doubt through online meetings and calls. People think that it is not possible, but that's not true. Look at us in the past year. What all we did as a student and as a classroom as well. Actually, we all observed that while doing our online learning for the past complete year, we have developed a quite lot on our communication and interaction skills and came inch closer to develop the etiquettes required in the professional life. One is independent to choose whichever extracurricular activity they want to pursue. For example, art, cubing, chess, etc. And it's not possible with such ease during physical learning, as we do not have enough time. Comparatively, online classes end earlier than traditional classes, as and it's much easier to focus on studies for shorter duration. We would say it as quality learning experience, not quantitative, and get extra time and use it wisely for other pleasure activities. I myself have experienced that I get more time which I can utilize to go out in field, play football along with my friends, and get proper exercise and enjoy, which is far better than those boring PT classes sitting idle in the classroom when the teacher is not available during proxy and when the teacher is there to take us to the ground and let us play, but the ground is completely occupied and we cannot play. In addition to all this, the hectic schedules of school, the commutation, and the burden of homework, one gets bored and exhausted and cannot spend leisure time at home, be doing physical stuff or any leisure stuff. During online learning, we can set our own priorities right and follow our own hobbies and interests, which is quite tough during physical learning. Online learning is much more freedom. I would like to conclude with a simple quote, which goes like, don't go through life, grow through life. Take up the new opportunities and the new ways of life coming up with the technical advancement and utilize it to reach your maximum potential. Online learning, the future.
Thank you very much, Uday. Very, very good. Right. The last speaker then, Janviba.
Yes, sir. Communication is the key to education, understanding, and peace. And one of the most glaring issues with online education is the lack of communication between students. There may be a discussion element available, but it is in the form of an online post, and this creates the lack of verbal communication. It is also harder for students to connect and form study groups, and this has its own social disadvantages. Let's face it, there is that one classmate whose, let's say, maths explanation makes sense to you, or that one friend whose study methods help you improve. Ethical issues also have to be considered here. What keeps the students from cheating or having someone else who can understand the content better take the test from them? Also, in a traditional classroom, a teacher can tell with a look on the student's face if they are following the understanding or they are following the lecture or not, and can adjust the pace of the lecture accordingly. But in an online class, that is not possible. That bond or connection between the teacher and student cannot properly develop in an online class. Now, all of you must know that there is something about watching a movie with a large group of people which is different than watching it all alone. Same is for a classroom. It is better as a group discussion. In an online class, you have lots of interruptions from the people living in your house and distractions from random things. But in an offline class, that is not possible at all. A offline classroom commands your attention in a way on videos cannot. And thus, I would like to say that online classes have their own drawbacks. Thank you.
Excellent. Very, very good. Great speaking as well. Okay, so that brings us to the next stage then. I'm going to ask one of you a question each. Uday, I understand what you were saying, that you can manage your exercise part more efficiently yourself. But what about for students who are not likely to get exercise? How can we help them out?
Sir, means I can manage my own exercise because I'm getting more time that I won't get in a physical classroom. And the people who cannot manage that, means who cannot like exercise, can spend time doing another leisure activity like cubing, art, anything extra. They can watch any shows or can learn from internet anywhere. Online learning is all about that. So online learning is future.
Okay, thank you very much. Janviba, you made very good points there, and I could see you're very sincere about it, that that interaction with the teacher, we all know that. But is there some way we can compensate for that a little bit online?
Yes, there are ways. Like I said, there are discussion elements available which allow us to communicate with the teachers, but it is not the same as it is in offline. When we talk face to face, the whole thing is, it has a whole another different experience. It has more meaning, and that way we can express ourselves more. In online classes, we may hold back and we may be shy, that like we don't want to talk, what will others think. But in an offline class, that is not possible at all. We just speak whatever we want, and that is the beauty of offline classes.
Brilliant, very well spoken. Now, Dhairya, you get a chance now, just before Yashvi, to do a rebuttal of the arguments the other team made, and then Yashvi, you will follow giving a rebuttal, only about 2 minutes like that. That's fine. You can add in a bit of a summary if you want. Feel free, speak your mind. It's about thinking and communicating. Go ahead, Dhairya.
Okay, so first of all, I would like to tell everyone to remove all the information bias that they have in themselves. Or like I'm with this class or this class. Just remove all those thoughts from your mind and think freely about this debate. So that is the first point all of you want to follow. So now I'll start with my rebuttal. So first point that Yashvi raised about studying that a student gives attention towards that or not. Well, all the teachers can call up the students and then can tell that is your child working or not, and can get regular updates by the teachers and the parents. So that is the first point about Yashvi I noted. Then second point about Insiya, I noted that she is focusing on the I part. But unfortunately, I would like to remind her that we are talking about online education. We aren't talking about the health scenario over the online education. We are mainly focusing on online education is not all bad. So that kind of point I just quite a bit. And then the third point, that critical thinking about what Dhatri spoke. I would like to tell her or acknowledge her that sir is doing online classes about critical thinking every Sunday with 8th A class, and that goes very well, I think. So that is a point that I would like to tell Dhatri about that. And with Janvi, in a speech, I noted a bit that she was talking about the distraction in your house. Is there any distraction between all of us here, even though we are being online? We can't see any distraction with this. So that are the few points that I got from all your speeches. So that's all. Thank you.
Absolutely excellent. Very, very good. And I'm going to mention there that there are occasionally a problem with a little stutter at times. And you did fantastic today. So very, very well done. Very, very proud. Right. And then to rebut from the opposite side, Yashvi, go ahead.
Yes, sir. So, as Dhairya said now that we are talking about the online teaching, but in this, it's as a debate, we are talking about advantages and disadvantages. So, in the disadvantages of online teaching, the health and the eye are the most we can say that harming to us, and this should be included in this. And he said that in his speech that it is the best way for our future. So yes, it is the best way, but it can be made possible only because of four factors. The first factor is the student or the professor or teacher should have a device, that is a mobile, a computer, or a laptop. Then the second factor is availability of good network in their location. And the third is electricity, and the fourth is sufficient mobile data. Without and absence of one of the factors also can lead to the decrease in the chances of having or attending an online class. And as Shivdeep said that we all are attending it from an laptop and we are using this online teaching way only, but it is because of the pandemic times. If the pandemic had not been there, then we would be doing it live in our classroom or stage, and it would be had been more fun. And as Jayendra said that there is disturbance in schools. So, and Dhairya said that there is no disturbance here when we are doing it now. But it is not because we are in discipline and not allowing our people, not allowing our family members to disturb us. And we can't do it regularly. And this can be do it by mistake also. And as Udayraj said that we can improve communication and it school offline classes gives you burden, but in comparison of online classes gives you more burden than that, because only you are doing for us. In schools there are some guiding lights like teachers and our they can guide us and we can be walk on that way. But what about at home if our parents are not educated? And this all can be only affordable to the richer sections of the society or the middle class people. But what about the lower sections of the society? They also have a right to be educated. And the classic disadvantages of online classes center around technical difficulties. Not being able to see or hear an instructor's lesson is a surefire way to encourage students to give up. E-learning cannot replace the knowledge that comes through hand-on experience. At last, I would like to say that teachers are ready to teach, asking questions each by each. Some get tired of the speech and some in thoughts of going to the beach. When we have classes, we wear earphones and solve the questions on our own. We see our friends in the phone, but in reality, we all are alone. So it's a swim or sink proposition, and you can't have it both the ways. If you want to become a responsible, self sufficient, and independent minded citizen of this planet, then now's the time. Life is not a dress rehearsal, so get busy with it. So let's pray to God together that we would be able to go to school as we went before and don't live like this anymore. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely excellent. Now, to both teams, I have to say, like, I'm enormously impressed. So impressed. If we were in a live venue, it would be an enormous round of applause for both of you. Now, the part I'm most interested in, the judges are now going to ask you some questions. I'm sure you'll be all very, very capable of so judges, take in turn there. If we start with a respected man, you can direct a question to any of those participants that you wish. Is that fine? You could take in turns like that. Okay.
All right, thank you. Firstly, thank you for having me as a judge. It's been very interesting to hear all your different takes on both the topics, both the sides of this debate, and understand from children itself. I mean, as adults, we constantly discuss these issues that kids are facing, but it's nice to hear it from the kids themselves. So thank you for having me here. My first question would be to, it can be anyone from the team who is for online education. That I think Yashvi brought up a very good point right now about affordability for online education and actually having devices. I mean, I know a lot of people around me who have one smartphone and they have a family of 3 or 4 children, and they struggle to actually sort of attend their classes online. So what kind of a solution would the team propose for such an issue?
Ma'am, can I?
Yeah, sure.
Ma'am, I would like to speak that the availability of mobile phones and the internet data or anything they have is, I think, kind of the infrastructure problem of our country. And that, I think, is not kind of interfering with our topic. So that could be another debate, like the infrastructure of a country. That could be for another debate. So.
Anybody else in that team want to add to that? Because I think the judge has asked a very, very good question. Some people simply cannot, like as the example she gave, 3 children in a household. It's a very good point. Shivdeep, do you have a comment on that?
Yeah, parents are sending their children to tuition, but in online tuitions, they are teaching what the school is teaching them. So instead of sending them to tuition, I am sure that there are lots of fees for tuition. They could buy devices for them which are not too much costly, 10,000 or such rupees.
Back to you, ma'am.
Thank you for that answer, both those answers. My next question would be for the team that's for going to a class and attending school physically. That I think the team online brought a very good point about how you have so much time to actually do other things in that framework, where you're not wasting 7 hours in a classroom. So one does see that when you're attending school physically, a lot of people get left behind where technology is concerned. Most students may not be as tech savvy. So with online education, these children are getting the chance to kind of like improve their skills, and these are the skills that they end up needing in workplaces in the future. So how do you propose the same kind of adaptability to technology when physical schools, like attending school, starts?
Right, Yashvi's team. Somebody going to give a response?
Yes, sir. Man said that like technology, and we can learn technology in our schools also. Our schools can program such infrastructure that students become aware of the current technologies, and this can be a way to do it.
Yes, anybody like to add anything else from your team? Janviba, anybody? Okay, back to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Yet another question to the team, which is for online education, that a big factor of education is not just sitting in a classroom and studying, but it's also your team sports. It's also activities like this when you're actually engaging in a hall or in an actual seminar with people. So how do you propose the same social interaction and the same skill development in an online setting?
Right. Various teams. Jayendra, anybody want to respond to that? That's a very good
Can
point.
I?
Yeah, go ahead, Jayendra. Yeah.
So right now, not considering virus or situation like that, we can still play games and do skillful activities while we learn online. Like we are not limited to just sitting, means in front of the phone. We can still do activities, and while in online we can do that. Yeah. So that was my point.
A change of mindset, almost like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
and being adaptable. Yeah, it's a very good point. Like the points here, like, and it's a worthwhile debate. Because we're making changes as we go along because the feedback I get from you every day, it's affecting how we've changed our Saturday syllabus and all of that to take into account a lot of your feedback. Right, ma'am. Anything else or?
I think I'll ask one last question to the team that's against online education. That with online education, of course, there is the issue, like I brought up, about technology and the availability of technology. But it also means that, if someone is living far away, they can sit in the confinement of their houses and actually get that education. So is that not something that's beneficial to somebody who doesn't have the means or the abilities to travel to a school or to actually commute to a place which has an infrastructure?
Yashvi's team.
Sir, may I?
Yes, go ahead, Janviba. Yeah.
Yes, I think it is beneficial for them who cannot go to school, but the point we are trying to make that offline classes will have a better workplace environment than online classes, and it will help the students focus more on other skills like communication and social, and they will be more social, they will be more commutative, and it will be good for them only.
Oh, very good. Yeah, so fair point. Thank you very much, ma'am. We'll now go to our second judge. Professor, your questions, please, for the participants.
Thanks, Mr. Phil. Yeah, it was very interesting. Very interesting arguments are given in favor and against by all the students. Almost like you have exhausted all simple things which we think about what are the benefits of online and what are the disadvantages of online education systems. And also very interesting questions were asked by Brijeshwari madam also. So even most of my questions are also been already asked by madam. Well, a couple of things that remains, like I am completely for online education. I keep on trying, doing experiments with online education, and I do feel that students, the future generation, should always look towards technology with a positive frame of mind, because 21st century is going to be the century of technology. And if we prepare the brains, minds which are thinking against technology, then perhaps we are doing more damage to the younger generations. People like us who are a bit older and who has lived their life also to a greater extent, for them the life may be easy going without technology also, but for the future generations, technology is going to play a very vital role, and it won't help them if they think against technology. But having said that, still the concern remains. Concern that remains are about digital divide. So in the final comment, Yashvi has very well taken that point, that what about the lower sections of societies, digital divide, the people who cannot afford the technology, the family members where there are 3 or 4 kids and there is only one device, how can they manage online education and all those things? Though the answer was given that instead of wasting money on tuition classes, they can purchase the data or the mobile devices. But then again, it's not that easy for the people. Obviously, there was also an answer given that government is supposed to take care for the infrastructure that is to be given. So that also was a fair argument which was given there. But still, the question for those who are in favor of online education, which I am also in favor of that. So this question is for me also. I also keep on battling with this question. And that is like, there are 2 things which are challenging to when we think of online education. One is self-learning and another one is social learning. One is self-learning is very, very important in online learning. So how are we, this is my question to those who are in favor of online education, how are we going to imbibe or nurture the skills for self-learning, which requires tremendous amounts of responsibility and accountability on the part of learners rather than on the part of teachers. In physical, there is lots of thing that the teachers are supposed to do, but in online, learner responsibility. So self-learning skills, do you have any plan how it can be done? And second point, that there is an interesting amount of social learning when we gather together. When we gather together, there are social skills which are necessary. Now, if we promote online and if we are not able to develop social skills, social gathering, and those skills which are necessary, interpersonal skills, then how are you going to deal with those things later on in your adult life? Yes.
Okay, so for Dhairya's team, first, some very, very good points. What's your response to that? So how can you make people who are learning online be motivated to learn for themselves? Annabi and Dhairya's team to respond.
Sir, may I?
Yes.
Sir, because learning virtually helps one to develop the etiquettes required in the professional life. So means they get the discipline and all the different things that they would learn, they would get to learn in their future, they would have to face in their job life. And
Yes,
it's all about self learning, because one is responsible for it, for his or own effect, for his or own performance. So one needs to improve every time and need to focus on it to become a better person.
Yeah. And I think the point the professor is trying to get at is that all of the attendees here today, they're all very self-motivated, families very much invested in you learning properly of that. But you represent a smaller selection of people. There's a very large selection of people there who don't have that initiative to start learning by themselves. Any suggestion for
Yes, and we can make it like if someone who is not like so much enthusiastic about self-learning, we can make them motivated by like classes which we do in the afternoon. Like all of us, we do a small class in which we explain all the extra studies we do in the afternoon, like at 3 o'clock, and we can motivate each and like different people. Like two of us are very much motivated by self-learning. Then like some other people, we both can motivate other people to start learn self.
Yeah. And I must come back to that later with you, Professor. I've got some ideas on that like that. It is a very, very, very important point and how to get those students to be actually self-motivated. The second part of your question, was that for the for or against emotion, Professor?
Okay, for those who are against technology, it seems like many times we are against the traditional mode of teaching that is going on. And we do have a problem, like long 7 hours you are just put into a classroom, and within the box only you have to remain. There is no space to go out on the field, and even if you have a time to go on the field, then the playgrounds are full with the people, so you don't get enough time to practice and other things there. Now, what do you think? For example, if you want to restructure the traditional mode of the classrooms, where how much time should be given for the physical concern that was raised, what about physical fitness, or how we care for our physical fitness when which is more damaged in online or technology when we are using a lot of screens in our learning space. So how do you see that are our traditional classrooms or the way things are going on enough to give us physical fitness and physical required physical nutritions or whatever we say? Because we see that even in the traditional classroom there are many students who are anemic, or even those who are not using technology in the bygone days or years, they also are wearing specs, and those things were also there in absence of that. So how do you think about this balancing the things in traditional classrooms?
So may I?
Yes.
So I would like
Go ahead, Yashvi. Yeah.
Okay. So you said that how would be able to balance our physical activities. So it depends on the students. If the student is more likely to learn it or have the ability to do it, then he or she would do it by any means. And if the student does not want to do it and does not like it, then she or he would don't do it by any means. And you said that we are put in a box in the school, but we don't go school only for studying. We learn many things apart from our studies. Like we learn about human behavior and some facts about life.
I mean, soil learning, you see.
Good. That fine from you?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I think Insiya also wanted to say something.
Yeah. Go ahead, Insiya.
Okay, sir. I was saying that as Dhairya also said that we waste our time being in school. The time we are being in school is not wasted; it's utilized. When we be in school, we improve our communication skills. That would be very much needed when we grow up and go for a job opportunity or something like that. So communication skills, interactivity skills, and that would be very much needed when we grow up. And technology, we are not against it, technology, but we are against that. The thing is, online classes are just not contradictory for us.
Very well said. Okay, well done, Insiya. Very, very good. Professor.
Okay, I'm done with my questions, sir. Yes.
Brilliant. So I'm going to have a quick chat with the whole group here now while you can go and deliberate a little bit. I know it's very, very tricky because I am very happy I'm not judging. It's so difficult to say. So I'll let you and Brijeshwariba go ahead and deliberate for a little while, and I'll have a little chat, please. Yeah. So look, all I can say, thank you to all the audience. Absolutely extraordinary. I'm looking, there's a huge debate going on there, comment after comment after comment, all very respectful as well, and making very, very good points, trying to be balanced and all that. Students, for a first experience and a first event, it was absolutely extraordinary that the ability of your speech, I couldn't have done it at your age. Your average age is about 13, 14, is just extraordinary. You should be very, very proud of yourself. As I said, if you're in a big auditorium, which we intend to be doing later, you'll be getting an enormous round of applause. Our next event of this is going to be different. It's going to be 8A class complaining, because 8A class are very, very good at complaining. They've got lots of things they want to get off their chest, and they're going to be telling us all about them. So it'll be very funny, actually. Some of it's very, very funny. I'm going to give us very, very sincere thanks to Kunj Dola, who's now at Jewel Circle someplace, making sure everything is working properly. And he's determined that he's going to make this a nationwide event. So once the website is up and running, we get more and more events going like this. And Dhairya Bhatt for the design of all the posters and the initial setting up of everything. A sincere thanks to you also. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
So that's all I have to say. Judges, do you feel you're ready for decisions? Or?
I think it will take some time to give the decision, or because we'll have to do marking a little bit.
It will take a bit of time like that, is it? So what should we do? Should we wait till later and announce the decision later on for you people? Is that fine for you? Or is that possible for us to add in later, like the winner or something like that? Because how much time? You need a bit of time, Professor. And we just sorry, ma'am.
So I actually did my marking while the speakers were.
Oh, while it's going on. Okay, so we'll just give it a couple of minutes.
But I think we'll wait for Dilip sir to finish his marking as well.
Sure. Yeah, and I'm going to say, Brijeshwariba, ma'am, you're an absolute inspiration, like the clarity of your speech, all of that. Girls, that's how speaking should be done. It's quite extraordinary. You studied in Nottingham, I believe, did you?
Thank you so much. Yes, I did my my undergrad in Nottingham, and then I did my master's in Durham.
Oh, I see. Okay. I lived in Leicester, 25 miles away for a long time.
Yeah, it was quite the Indian hub for us to go to Leicester.
Absolutely. Leicester City, if you don't know, is the greatest Diwali celebrations outside of India. But yeah, seriously, great.
Thank you for the compliment, but I think it's been great to hear all the speakers, and I actually didn't know that so many points could come out of students. I mean, with regards to education, so I'm quite impressed to see all the different points that have come out, and everyone has spoken so well. I mean, I particularly I literally each and every one of them, I think Dhatri spoke some very good points in the beginning. So I was just starting and I couldn't finish making my notes. I was like, okay, I need to stop making the notes and just hear her out. So very, very well conducted. I mean, I'm quite happy to be part of this. And I would also like to say that none of the students brought up the teachers. So, I mean, it's great to like know what's going on in a student's mind, but you must take into account that a lot of your teachers are women who are sitting at home, cooking, cleaning, doing all the household chores, as well as teaching you all online. So I think that's quite a challenging thing in comparison to, you know, taking that time out and coming to an institution and having that space for themselves as well. So I think that the teachers play a very integral role, because the mindset of a teacher and the frame of mind is very important in actually understanding for students. So I think that's a critical.
Great point. Yeah, very, very good. So students, look, you're at the beginning of something new and that will go on for a long time, we hope. We're going to put great efforts into extending this further. The idea, I want everybody thinking. Your life, your future prosperity will most likely depend on your ability to think in many, many fields. I keep saying in maths, correct? Maths learning is about thinking, nothing else, not about mugging up. And I'll just go back to that point that for such young people to be able to hold such great ideas and to be able to communicate them so well, the greatest weapon you go into the future with is your ability to communicate. You have to be able to talk to other people and express your ideas in a manner that people will be able to understand. Brilliant, very good. So as we await the final verdict, the very tough decision, I think, it'd be very tough for me. Judging is one of my least favorite activities. Now, without discussing it, how was your experience? So just go through all quickly. How would you say your experience was? How did it feel to be on the stage? Uday, tell me, how was it? Now it's over.
Sir, I was very happy and I learned something new about how can we conduct a debate online. It was a good experience, like worthwhile.
Yeah, very, very good. Dhatri, how would you find the experience? Relieved to be finished your scripted part?
No, sir, actually it was not like that, but it was new. First we had a debate like that. Debate used to be like one person speaks, then the other speaks, and then it's over. Like no one rebuts and that. So this time it was that, and we had to answer the questions on the spot. So that was fun and something new and exciting. So yeah, it was a new experience.
Yeah, good. Jayendra.
Sir, it was excellent, and it was really nice to hear everyone's opinions on the topic, and it was new. Yeah, the rebuttal thing, as Dhatri said.
Yeah, and that full awareness.
Experience.
Sometimes things are only opinions. We can't actually prove them. Some things are just opinions, aren't they? Like that, and that we should be aware that other people can hold different opinions to us. It doesn't make us any one person better or one person lesser having different opinions. We're entitled to have different opinions. Who else? Insiya.
Yes, sir. I was really nervous before it, but then when it started, it was like very good, and it was a new experience for almost all of us.
Sure, yeah, very, very good. Yeah, Shivdeep.
I was not confident about giving the answers to the people, but then the questions and the way I answered, I felt good for myself. And it is the first time I am joining a debate.
Yeah, fantastic, very, very good. And lastly, to speak for the girls, Yashvi, great captainship, by the way, well done.
Thank you, sir. So it was a nice experience. I have done a debate before, but it was only for our school level. And this was a totally different thing. And asking the question sections was very good. We could talk spontaneously on it. So it was the real exam for our capability to speak. And yeah, it was fun.
Fantastic. And finally, Dhairya.
Yeah, so it was very good and like a good experience, but like it is tough to go against the online learning. So
Yeah, because
yeah,
in your house, you all want to be back in the classroom.
and see, I think everyone spoke so well, but I think all of them keep forgetting about the topic that online education is not all bad.
Yeah, that's right. We're not, we're just saying it has some good points. Fair point.
Yeah. It is not all bad. We aren't saying like it is the best, like we can change it with the physical classroom. It is not all bad. We are just trying to say like that.
Well, I think that's a very good way to end. Yeah, very, very good. Yeah, well spoken.
Okay,
Now,
Mr. Phil, I'm done with the marking. Yeah, so yes.
brilliant. Right, verdict in the court.
Yes. Okay, so
Right, who would like to go first?
should we ask Madam to?
Yeah, Madam, would you like to give
move
us
on
your?
with the-
Ma'am, your mic is off.
Sorry about that. Should I go from
Yes,
each
please.
student's,
Well,
point?
as you wish. Yes, yeah. Okay.
When we have for the topic, so we have one second. Dilip sir, why don't you go first? I'll just.
Okay. Okay. For the markings, I have taken 10 points each. So out of 40, I have given the marks. 40, I have taken 10 for posture, body language, clarity of voice, persuasive argument, response to questions. So out of 40, I have taken the marks for individual. And then there are 4 participants in each team. So 160, total 160, from which I have given the score. Yeah, that is how I have worked out. Well, it was very tough, I say, very tough. It was almost going parallel in the marking. So Dhairya, I think this Dhairya, no? Dhairya or Dhairya, is it?
Dhairya.
Dhairya, yeah, I think there is a little bit spelling mistake, maybe Dhairya, yeah. Dhairya and Yashvi, yeah, both as a leader also, and their arguments were also very good. They were almost going neck to neck in their responses. And then the other participants like Insiya, Dhatri gave a very interesting argument against this, and here Udayraj and Jayendra, they were also very strong in speaking in favor of this. My score stands like, should I give individual score or total team score?
I think just the team full team will do.
Team score, no? Yeah. So 4, those who are for and those who are against. Against, I am giving 120 out of 160. 120 out of 160 I am giving to against, and 125 to 4. Those who are in favor. Those who are in favor, I am giving 125. Yeah? Those who are in favor, yeah, out of 160. Yeah? It was very neck to neck, very tough. Maybe my own personal biases for the online education has given 5 additional points. I don't know, but I think it was also very well argued by all the students in favor as well as in against.
Brilliant, very, very good. Thank you so much. That no pressure, ma'am. Decision
so
comes down to you.
I think we're going to be at a disagreement here because my scores don't seem to. I mean, I've been very generous with my marking, but the tally is not the same. I have for online education, I have a total of 147 out of 160.
Okay.
And against online education, I have a total of 150 out of 160.
150. So 170.
But again, I like Dilip sir.
That means we won.
Personal biases that are coming into this as well. So I would have to take note of that.
No, it was very tough. It was, all students were going neck to neck. So it was very tough to, yeah.
I think the key point is that I mean, I think it's great to have technology as part of schools, but on a, I mean, I feel that the points that Yashvi, Dhatri, Insiya also, the points that they brought up about the core elements of, you know, taking out the student from a classroom and going into a confined space, I think those, like there were too many crucial points there that kind of won me over in comparison to maybe more points made by the online team. So, yeah.
Very, very, very good. So who did the totals then? Anabi,
No, sir. We just won by 2 points.
Okay. And look, couldn't it? Both did exceptionally well. Really, really, really good.
Absolutely.
And I think it gives us a lot of information about how we should plan our future. As a school, we'll be taking your you have different school world. There's some meeting point in the beginning where we adapt and make some changes like that. So I think, again, final thanks to the audience. They're absolutely extraordinary. They're all giving many comments on there, having a big discussion themselves. So you've provoked all of these people into having a big debate online. Final thanks to both of our judges. Thank you so much. Thank you to both of the teams, and a final thank you to Kunjdola for excellently making sure everything is run so smoothly like that. Okay, and that brings us to an end. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Thanks.